Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Wade and Carter
Oh,
Show. There we go. Ash Brent, Commander, maybe a couple others. Happy Veterans Day to all of those who have served this great country. And for those around the globe, it is Remembrance Day in many parts, where tribute is paid to those who paid the ultimate sacrifice or made the ultimate sacrifice
Yeah, big
so that our
difference.
freedoms would be preserved.
Big difference here in the U.S. We have Memorial Day for all of our fallen veterans. Today's the day we celebrate the rest of you and really appreciate your service. I think it's interesting that you hear the deal about when you have bacon and eggs in the morning, the chicken was involved, but the pig was committed.
Yeah.
I don't draw a distinction in service personally between those who passed and those who didn't. They both walked into harm's way. Some were spared, some weren't. And I just think it's important that because we have the ability to celebrate those who returned, you double celebrate them on behalf of the ones who couldn't. And then I look at this as a day of celebration, whereas Memorial Day is a much more somber event. And for our Canadian friends, we have many that listen in Canada. Welcome. For you folks, a very humble Remembrance Day. And by the way, no matter our political differences at times, maybe even right now, which is all just politics, which to me is puppycock, which is BS, is what we would call it. The idea that that is the case doesn't delineate from the fact that we've walked lockstep for a long time in the preservation of freedom. So to our Canadian friends, thank you for listening, and on with the show. By the way, welcome in. If you're on Magic 95.9 FM, we're glad to have you. If you're on the No Bull Network, we would love to hear from somebody who's listening to us, either in Cuero or Kennedy or Goliad or Calhoun County. Do not be shy. Do not be hesitant. Poteet, Southeast San Antonio, even.
Jordanton.
If you have a moment and don't mind, give us a call at some point. 361-894-4020. And the Wade and Carter weather is brought to you by our great friends, not just friends, great friends, at AT Deerland Feed. I still can't get over the number. It's 37 degrees in Victoria, Texas, heading to a high today of 75.
As Clark Griswold would say, it's a little nipply outside.
When Cody Bauman walked into the studio this morning, took off his hat, and the 26 stairs that it takes to get up here, somewhat taxing for the big guy, and he took off his hat, and the ever so glistening, just like glaze of perspiration on his dome was giving off that.
There were icicles on his eyebrows.
It was that on a steel gray Pittsburgh morning. It was that steam coming off. It looked like an NFL film steam.
Like last night at Lambeau Field.
Right. I was like, there's Cody, Commander, coming in.
10, what was it, 10-7, I think. Eagles won that one. I will say this.
On the do not care meter,
yeah.
You're
no,
way
but
up
it
there.
wasn't. But you know what? It was one of the most entertaining defensive low-scoring football games I've seen in a long time.
Well, there you have it. It was one of the most entertaining, defense-oriented, low-scoring. All of those things are not what I want. I want entertaining,
you and everybody else.
Offense.
It was a good game.
Which is why you would think I would watch the NBA, right? Because every night it's 128 to 114. But no, I don't watch that garbage.
Well, because they take eight
What
was the one?
Steps after they stop.
Five. I mean, we've seen a few videos this year of people making fun of the 5 and 6 steps that NBAers have taken to drive to the basket and not get called for the travel.
I wish it was because I was a basketball purist. The fact is they lost me with all that Black Lives Matter crap they tried to corporately jam down our throats. I would much rather see, and he's very low on my scale as well, I would much rather see one lone idiot like Colin Kaepernick decide I'm going to take a knee than I would rather see an entire league embrace a philosophy of it takes all of us.
I was just going to mention that about the NFL. Is that, could there be a less Could there be a less homogenized statement than it takes all of us? What does that even mean?
Right.
Seriously, it's on the back of every end zone.
Yeah.
And what does it
It's on the
mean?
backs of helmets.
What
Well,
seriously, can someone explain like what's the context of that? Because it makes no sense.
while all the owners
one
are just
point, you
rich
know-
white folks, and there's nobody more white than the
Well, all the owners are going, it takes all of you
yeah.
to make me my money.
We did not mention the other day, I'm not even sure it was news, but for many of you, you'll remember Paul Tagliabue, former NFL commissioner, passed at 84. He took over from Pete Rozelle and did a really good job.
thought so,
Rozelle led a different league, and Tagliabue did a good job of evolving into the high-dollar Fox-type deals and all that.
And Lenny Wilkins passed over the weekend as well. NBA
Former
Hall of-
NBA Hall of Famer, as a
led-
player and a coach.
Yeah, led the Sonics to their only championship before that team was stolen by Oklahoma
He
City.
played with Sitka and those guys.
Yeah, Dennis Johnson was there at that time.
That's
That was when the NBA was actually fun, and I really was an NBA fan.
right. 75 degrees for a high today in sunny Victoria, Texas. This afternoon late be a good time to go tee it up.
Yeah, Stephanie Carney, Scott Tomko, Marvin Mickish on the podium this morning. Glad you're all here.
That's about where I play. I play in the 70s. You know, if it gets any hotter than that, I don't want to play.
Yeah, you don't score in the 70s, you just play in
No,
the
I just
70s.
play in the 70s.
Good morning, Marina, Monty Howard,
Hi, Marina.
Scott Snow, Zed Stewart, Linda Chris, Bobby Leister, Mark Kurtz, Marvin Mickish. Did I mention Greg Garcia? I think I mentioned Greg. Randall Bernhard, good morning.
You got Lisa Poole.
Look at that. I did not mention Lisa Poole
Lisa
yet.
Poole reminds us that
Sean
this
Clark.
Thursday night, Palace Bingo, where Friends Meet Friends, the 13th. First ball pops at 7:30. Did you see Mr. Nimble straddle that
I did.
camera stand?
Randall wants to remind everybody there's a free Veterans Day lunch at the VFW Post 4146, courtesy of the VFW and Friends of Vets. So celebrate the vets this morning. Daniel Wade White, there's one there. Thank you for
Yep.
your service, sir. Monty Howard,
Sean Clark checking in from Texas Liquor. Good morning, sir.
BJ Nelson,
Hi,
Tammy
BJ.
Keeling, Jarrett McCrugan, Sheriff Louderback, good morning.
Hello, State Rep, sir. I saw Michael Cloud last evening. I went down to Rockport, and Michael offered some comments, quite a few comments, actually. It's been fun to watch Michael not evolve, but just grow. He's so much more confident, so much more outspoken, and it takes time. I was a guy that was really very pro term limits, whether congressionally or self-imposed, and I'm having to rethink that, because I watch a guy like Michael, and you're not on the appropriations committee, and you're not on this committee where you can really make a difference. You don't go into Congress as a freshman and make those differences, and to see the connections that Michael has been very refreshing. And I'll tell you that our congressman, I believe, is the poster child for integrity in Washington, D.C. And I mean, nobody's incorruptible, but I have absolute confidence that he exercises his faith in the way he makes decisions and votes his conscience, absolutely working for you. So it was great to go and visit with Michael and listen to his comments, and he's confident. I'll tell you, I guess the compliment to you folks is, I didn't hear anything yesterday that you haven't heard right here from us. And I mean that. He didn't tell me anything about the shutdown or where we're at that we haven't talked about. So, now, BJ, I don't disagree with that. It says term limits are still a great idea, especially in the Senate, as they have 6-year terms. And I don't ever feel like I feel like the House is where things get done. The Senate seems to ratify
I don't
things,
know
right?
that anything gets done in either chamber anymore, to be
There's
honest.
the old communist, the old Canadian, the old Canuck coming in with his negativity.
No, I feel stuff gets done in the first year. Although we haven't passed a budget and they couldn't seem to get a CR continued to avoid a 41-day shutdown
Ash
now.
Trudeau.
The House is being recalled today, by the way. They've got to get back there and vote on
Can I
some
just
things. We'll get into
Can I
that.
just like slap you in the face the way Trudeau's wife slapped him
Yeah,
that
but-
day
but
coming
here-
out that
here's-
airplane?
No, I think it was Macron.
What?
different-
One of
different
those
French
one
guy.
of those cucks.
Yeah. But here's the problem with the 2-year, and it was never meant to be this way. It's evolved this way, at least in my opinion, but that's what, I guess everything's my opinion. This is our show. This is what I do.
Was that an
You-
apology, or
no.
was that more of just like
An
a
explanation.
take that?
Yeah.
No,
Explanation.
it was an
That was a
ex-
take that. For
it was
sure.
more of an exclamation, wasn't it, Cody, than an explanation?
Yes, sir.
It was an
I guess it's
explanation
all
with
my
an
opinion, and
exclamation
if
mark.
you don't like it, you can leave.
Yeah, you can
Yeah,
go
sure.
fly a kite.
Right here from the garden.
We're huge
spot
in War Room, Minnesota this morning.
in River City,
We're in the Trump Ballroom in Victoria,
the beautiful
Garden City.
Garden
River
spot
City,
of
the city of
Victoria.
roses.
City of
a rose
Roses.
garden.
Yes,
Victoria is the city of roses.
Flag
I
City.
think at one time it was.
Oh wow.
Flag City.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Edna.
But here's the issue. They and it was never intended this way. And maybe it's time to rethink the 2-year terms for our state our representatives, because they seem to go there and work for a year and then they spend a year in campaign mode, or the better part of a year. I don't know. Just
Well, it is true. You campaign for a year and a half for a 2-year job, and it's
yeah.
yeah,
No.
it's really more frustrating for me at the state level, at least at the national level, congressional level. They've got big salaries. I mean, they're getting paid to run for office. You look at a guy like Sheriff Louderback, that's a state rep, and yes, he had a tremendously busy and active legislature, but I mean, almost immediately, he's able to put out yard signs. And I think it's dumb. In fact, in this case, I don't think that our state rep is going to draw much of an opponent. And good for him. I mean, he's earned it. I've never seen anybody go in and be chair of committees and on subcommittees and yada, yada, yada. And it's in part based on all the years that he's been going and representing sheriff's interest, but it's his law enforcement experience is unparalleled in the House. So he's a busy man. He's a man in demand. And, he'll kill you. So, there is that.
What do you make of President Trump demanding air traffic controllers get back to work now?
I think he's petulant, but he's good at it. He says, look, I'm mad. I am not happy. Go back to work now. Because what air traffic controllers are doing, who aren't getting paid right now because of the shutdown, they're calling in sick, which, by the way, I don't know if you folks knew this, but when we elected Proposition A and Proposition B, we opened this door in Victoria, Texas. You see, our firemen can't go on strike, but there's nothing to stop the union organizer from calling every single fireman and go, tomorrow morning, you're all
They
to
could have
call
done,
in sick.
They could have done that without Proposition A or B. They could have sicked out.
Yeah, but there
Doesn't
wasn't
matter.
anybody to lead that. It wasn't going to happen.
It could have. Somebody could have stepped up and done it. Proposition A and B give them the opportunity to collective bargain to appoint or hire a representative to do it.
They could have done that. They could have done that without electing to be civil servants. They could have done that on their own.
Could have.
Touche. I'm about to Macron you right here, just smack you upside the dome. Folks, y'all don't know this about Ash. He's an old hockey player. Yes, it's a paste-on mustache. He takes it off after the show, but he's an old hockey player. When he takes off, it's funny. When he puts his teeth in, the mustache is attached to the teeth. And then when he's done, he just takes
It's like
them
my
out.
it's like my glasses. My eyebrows come off when
Right.
I take them off too.
What is that? What's that guy's Eugene
Groucho
Levy?
Marx?
Eugene Levy.
Eugene
But
Levy.
but yeah, I think I jest about smacking Ash because he would fight to the death. He's like a kitten.
I never started him, but I never backed him.
There you go, which explains all the scars. Never started them. Yeah. Linda Chris points out a solid point. Bet she's having a good day. Her husband's not home. Says Reagan fired the air traffic controllers.
This will be the most peaceful week she's had in a long time. Because
Linda, we'll keep him as long as we can.
He's here today. He's not there tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll keep him as long as we can.
Serenity now.
Although Bingo Thursday will probably make up for all of the peace.
I agree with H.R. Mallory. It's a public service. It was never meant to be a lifetime career or family dynasty. You saw the highest levels of example, both being George Washington, Thomas Jefferson. Folks served and went home and left the experience and left the responsibility to the next generation.
Well, don't forget, it took them weeks to get home.
Well,
Some
that's
of them.
right. Jefferson's slaves had to carry him. Took weeks to get him home.
I don't know if anybody caught this. John Stossel's got a really good piece on, since you mentioned that, on slavery in the United States.
Is that the guy that's married to Kelly Ripa?
No, that's Mark Consuelos, I think.
Oh,
isn't it?
would you say this guy's name was?
John Stossel.
Okay.
I think he used to be a reporter on ABC. He's now doing his own thing, and he has some. He's an old school reporter. He just presents the facts,
From the 90s?
presents the facts, doesn't prevent them like the BBC. Presents the facts. Asks questions like why or how, which no reporters do anymore. And then gets people on to tell those sides of it, and you make your own decisions up. But it's a really good piece on the history of slavery in the United States.
Well, it's all revisionist. You know, they say that the victors write the history, and there's no doubt that white people wrote our history. And I just get a kick out of how now everything that was made by black people. The battery, black people made that. No, they didn't. Nor did white people make everything. It shouldn't be black or white. Did Americans make it? Then I'm interested in it. That's what happens. And everybody went through hardships. You know, I'll stand by, and this is a white guy's thing to say, that at the end of the day, if you are a black American, whatever your family went through in the past was worth it for you to be here. I mean, many people paid the price of losing their ancestors to war. Many paid the price of losing their ancestors as they went west. Some of them died due to disease or Indians.
Some were eaten by their travel partner.
Right. Or the Donners. You think the Donners family reunion, it gets smaller every year. What are we having? Thigh? I mean, let's wait till it's good and cold. I don't understand that. Look, we go somewhere, look, you die, I ain't eating you. First of all, it'd be nothing but gristle. We just die there together. But you don't know. You don't know when people are at their most raw. No. You don't know what the quest to live.
Like the rugby team in the Andes.
Yeah.
Can I have the teeth and the mustache?
Right?
Make a toy out of it?
Just a slight little. Ash is good with some fava beans and a nice Chianti. Junior. Did you look?
He's
look
chomping at
right.
the bit over there.
Look to your right. Oh, Clarice. I love it when
I'm not sure if that was that or if that was like you look like that gopher on Winnie the Pooh.
But he did, didn't he? I like it when I felt Sir Anthony Hopkins, such a great actor, but in the movie, what's the movie called?
Silence of the Lambs.
Silence of the Lambs, which is just a creepy, eerie movie.
I preferred Silence of the Hams.
But now you're back to the rugby team eating each other. At the end of the day,
Can we get away?
You get back to when he dresses her down with, I'm looking at your cheek structure and this, you're just one generation removed from white trash. I'm going to mention somebody you'll hear us say from time to time, very rarely. There's a lady named Tammy Keeling, lives here in town. I refer to Tammy as a useful idiot. She's that person I put on the edge of the stage, and when it suits me, I point to her as an example of what not to be. She says, yeah, being owned by another is similar to go west, young man, hardships. Tammy, this is live radio. I'm giving you examples of people that suffered in the quest to be free. Whether you were brought here enslaved and your parents, I'll say it a better way. If you're a direct descendant, eighth generation of a slave, and you think I owe you money for being in this country, you're an idiot. I don't owe you a dime. You're a blessed black person. Shut up, get a job, get off SNAP, and get off my checkbook. How about that? That's what I meant to say, and I equated it with lots of people went through lots of hardship. People settled entire regions of this country fighting with Indians and local indigenous people. Some
Who
died.
enslaved some of those that they captured?
Oh, the Indians in this state were the last people to own black slaves. Don't be stupid on my show. And then you go and people died of disease. People died of all kinds of things in the quest to be Americans. That's the point. There are different levels of hardship. Some are imposed by man, some are imposed by nature. But I'm saying anybody who has survived and is the descendant
Anybody
of an
that would
American
think that Western world is not better off
is
today
blessed.
than it was 200 years ago, 250 years ago, 300 years ago
yes.
is just wrong.
Jarrett McCrugan says, always offended. Hilarious. Ignorant, exposed, rampantly
And
humiliated.
probably offended on behalf of somebody who's not
That's
even
right.
offended.
That's right. And just stupid. No wonder. Have no friends. USA Concrete Coatings, 578 Home. USA Concrete Coating can come out and change your drab slab. 578 Home. They'll put down a tough as nails polyurethane coat that won't.
Crack, stick, peel, or fade.
Allen's Wrecker Service, 578-6300. Let Allen's be your go-to toe-to. They'll help you get where you need to be, and they'll get your vehicle there safely. The chopping block this week, tomorrow, Wacky Wing Wednesday.
Yes.
Get ready for the chopping block. What are you doing, bud?
I'm turning the headphones up for
Junior?
our guest over there. Hopefully he can hear something. You might have to
Wacky
bump it
Wing
up over there,
Wacky
too.
Wing Wednesday is going to be great for you. Get into Wacky Wing Wednesday and enjoy all the meats at the chopping block.
I don't mean to laugh, folks, but you can't see this, but we should have had the camera on him. Watching him adjust himself to get onto that
Well,
stool was
he's just got issues.
I still can't hear out my ears.
Yeah, he's got issues. He has issues.
Andrew Elver says he's offended that they're offended.
Well, I'm just, you know what? The older I get, the less tolerant. And these people are.
Oh,
peers of
amen.
mine. They're my age, and I, just don't be stupid. Just don't.
Be stupid on your own time.
Right. Don't. And somebody, I'll get feedback. Why do you even acknowledge the stupid ones? I do. I get that all the time.
They're
In fact,
useful idiots.
if I'm, they are useful idiots. I like to point them out. I like to show a certain level of intolerance of stupidity. I feel it's my job to stamp out ignorance. Folks, they're right there. That's him. Look at your camera. That's Junior.
How you
That's
doing,
Junior
guys?
Samples. Junior is, I describe Junior with respect. He's a dear, dear friend of mine personally and a useful idiot on the show. And
Absolutely.
Junior is a guy that people, we all know people who they know a whole bunch about like one subject. And then you know people who know a little bit about a lot of things. And I would say that, Ash, in fairness, we're in that spectrum area right there. I know a little about a lot of things.
I think we know a little bit more about a lot of things
Than most of you,
people.
yes, for sure. But I'll tell you that Junior is a guy, humbly, who knows a lot about a lot of things. I mean,
I do a lot of reading.
He's been a nurse. He was a
Parachute rigger.
male prostitute in the Navy.
That was some of the best times.
He was the inspiration for Dan Aykroyd's character on Saturday Night Live.
That's right.
I mean, guys would come to spend time in the bunk with Junior, and they would leave him cigarettes, and he didn't even smoke. And he just, at the end, he had a cigarette. Anyway, it's an old story. It was way back then.
I am the product of a father who drugged me out of bed every Saturday morning by the heel and said, "Come on, boy, I'm going to teach you what I know."
There you go.
I am a definite product of my father.
There you go.
I do a lot of reading. When something interests me, I really go into it and I really learn about it. And there's a lot that interests me.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. I just can't deal with the useful idiot has just become an idiot.
So what
How
would
are
you like to know?
Just you've got notes. I mean, you,
Oh,
you
Yeah,
were
I'm
just
curious
saying
what the notes were for.
We met at Tractor Supply on Sunday. You said, I need you to come in and talk to people about getting their house and stuff ready for the wintertime. So I made a list and now that I'm teaching at college, I am a professor extraordinaire. We have to go through the objectives of what you're going to learn first. That's what they always teach you.
the syllabus.
The syllabus.
There
Yes.
we go. Let's
I,
go.
I rode the silly bus in school.
Right. I know you did.
We know
Okay, so to get your house prepared, the first thing you need to do is go around and take all your garden hoses off your house, because that's where the water's going to freeze, break, and ruin a lot of stuff inside the house and outside. Then you need to cover those faucets up with a towel or those things they sell at Lowe's, and keep that heat in. And it wouldn't hurt to probably trickle that.
the Freeze Meister.
Yes, the Freeze Meister. That's
Sell
the one.
those
buy
at Deerland
those at
Feed,
Deerland Feed.
and they
Yep.
are
So-
they're phenomenal. You
and
can
then-
turn it on, it just drips. And
Once you
no
get
issue.
that done, coil the hoses up, and you can either leave them in the garage or outside. Those hoses, they always say they don't kink. That's crap. They always kink.
I've
but
yet to find
it's
a
because they
kinkless hose.
freeze and get hard, and then in the summertime they get hot, so it deteriorates the plastic. So you might want to bring those in too. Flowers, you need to bring those in, or you need to cover them up. But if you do cover them up, you want to make sure that you don't let the blanket or the sheet that you put on it touch the flower itself, because it's just going to transfer and it will freeze and ruin those flowers. Pets.
Easier just to.
This is the one that irritates me the most. I hate seeing pets left outside in the heat, the cold, summer.
It's against the law.
And well, yeah. So a lot of people make the mistake of putting 55-gallon drums out there for their animals to stay in, which is a very bad idea, because that drum gets cold and it actually increases the chances of freezing the lungs on the animals. So if you got to put your animal into a barrel, at least make it plastic and line it with hay. I mean, hay's cheap. You can go buy a bale of hay for $10 and keep that
You
animal.
can also go to Deerland Feed and grab. They have heat lamps. that
Heat
are
lamps.
Cheap.
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 Here's another thing. If you're going to use that barrel, wrap it in one of those pipe warmers, and it'll automatically shut on and off,
Yeah.
which goes back to
Or just stick a
wrapping your
bunch
pipes.
of blankets in there.
Yes. Even a
Nothing
heating
else.
pad. Just throw a heating pad in there. Do you like sleeping outside in the cold? What makes you think they do?
That's fair.
Well, they have fur coats.
Yeah.
That's the one excuse that just
Yeah.
drives me nuts.
It's, we are to be good stewards to these animals. God put them here for us to take care of. And it just irritates me to see a dog out there. Now, you got certain breeds of dogs that once it snows, they're in it. You can't get them in from it, like your Malamutes and your
Pyrenees
Huskies.
love it. Yeah.
Oh, it's hilarious to watch those dogs when they first see snow. It's great. Let's see. Oh, and then after the freeze, that's when you want to prune back. So if you got Esperanzas and that kind of stuff, that's when the plants start to fall back. Prune them. That brown, long, stringy looking pod, take those pods and just shove them in the ground, and that'll procreate you more plants come spring.
There you go. We don't talk about procreate.
No, not on
It's a
this show.
family show, man. Come on. Goodness gracious. He's used to being on so early in the morning. He doesn't
Hey,
have to
you
do
asked
it.
me what I
We
know
have
about,
kids on
okay?
the way to school. You're talking about procreating, man.
You told me to talk about what I know. So once you get, once the temperature drops down to say 34, I start dripping faucets, because you don't know if it's going to dip down. So just turn that faucet on. Here's another thing. You don't want to waste that water. So slide a 5-gallon bucket underneath that and catch that water.
They are
Now,
the biggest
there's
ice
a great
cube ever.
idea. That's a practical idea. You can always use that water then to water your pets.
Well, not only that, but if your pipes do freeze up, you have that bucket full of water you can use to flush your toilets.
Right?
Andrew Alvarez says if you don't have the facilities and resources to take care of the animals, don't get them. That's the biggest. I understand people's hearts, and I've got dogs, and I've rescued dogs and been involved in that in this community for a long time, and I appreciate it. But that's the one thing when people go and rescue an animal and then they're right there on Facebook begging for money because they don't have the resources to care for that
Exactly.
animal. It's
kind of like I tell people, if somebody gave me a Ferrari, I'm not sure I have the means to maintain it,
Right.
which explains some of the challenges in my marriage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
well, you could always start a GoFundMe the way things are these days. But
Yeah. Maybe you need to start a GoFundMe account to pay for Don's
Be interesting.
toys. So
For pennies a day, you can help Brent procreate.
Please don't give to that fund.
I think you could start a GoFundMe to pay for your funeral expenses.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, you know that's bad when you walk into the kitchen and she's taking the cookies out and you reach for one and she goes, stop it. Those are for the funeral.
well, I'm surprised you haven't gotten used to the taste of arsenic.
Right. Some of these things have
It does smell like
cumulative-
almonds this morning.
They have a cumulative effect.
So the last thing that I always tell people to do, if you don't have a generator, get one. And if you need, talk to people that have set up generators, because I've gone around town during the hurricane and hooked up everybody's generator that had them but didn't know how to backfeed them through their house and that kind of stuff. So
Why? I've started fires in 5 counties. You're the exact reason I'm saying, folks, reach out to Went Services.
Yes.
Went Electrical, I know you did.
yeah, I sure did. And I'm going to tell you right now, that was a marvelous experience. Those guys were fun, clean. They came in. Bill Posey and I laid an 8-foot by 8-foot concrete pad and then went home and took a 2-hour nap.
Together or
killed him.
separate?
I mean, the old
Bless
Navy
his heart.
SEAL's out there, he's 80 years old. You're out there, got him stirring concrete.
Well, he didn't have to stir it. I actually had him driving the tractor and doing the screeding. But, oh, my gosh, that was so much fun. I'm going to tell you right. Today is Veterans Day. I'm going to deviate just a little bit. How
Feel free.
great is it that we actually live in Victoria, Texas, with one of America's finest heroes? Look at you going to sleep over there.
No, we do.
No, we do. We totally agree.
God bless that man. He
Yeah.
gave. There's people who gave and gave all, and that man donated his life and his body to this country.
Yeah.
I mean, he served in Vietnam and then went back and served in Iraq.
He qualified for SEAL teams at 55.
Yeah.
I mean, the man is made of steel, and I can honestly say that I absolutely love knowing and being around Bill Posey
Yeah,
and saying that
he's a jewel.
I'm honored to be able to see my hero every day.
And he's a good guy.
Love the man. But today is Veterans Day, so get your
Thank you for your service. We love to have fun with you.
no, thank you for allowing me to serve this country, because the United States Navy gave me the discipline to start my own business, be responsible and adult for my parents, give my children a good role model to follow, because my kids are very smart and very talented young people.
Well, they had moms.
I need more grandkids. But,
right.
but
Have more kids.
as far as the generator goes, they came out, did a fantastic job.
They're great. I hear nothing but great reports of their installation.
And I know
their
you tested.
service.
How seamless is that? Do you even notice when it comes on?
Oh, no, it just, that's it.
Does it reset all your clocks?
No, it does not.
Good.
No, but I have a little 5'2" blonde that goes around and does all that. So,
Marcy Kachera says Bill Posey is not 80 yet, as per Barbara.
yeah, well, he will be.
I mean, Cody, can you run downstairs? We have another guest. Can you let him in?
As long as you don't call
I
me.
think it's just the upstairs door that's not locked. Or it's,
Okay, well,
it's
whichever
unlocked.
one it is.
Yep. But
No,
yeah,
I had no idea we had 2 guests today.
I will tell you this.
I wasn't positive either.
It was not a inexpensive venture for that generator. They are pretty pricey.
Right.
But here's the deal. If I go out of town and my electricity drops,
Peace of mind.
peace of mind and knowing that everything in my freezer is going
Yeah, and
to
it won't
be
stink.
saved,
Right.
So, oh my gosh, is that who I think it is?
Yeah, so we're going to have to boot you. Not
Yeah.
another person.
I mean, but wait a minute. How is he going to be able to follow this?
well, he's not.
I've got your exit music queued up and playing right
he
now.
he will deviate into relevance.
I mean to tell you, you're going from absolute genius to
Absolutely.
politics. Come on.
H.R. Mallory said, Commander,
It's playing.
You up in the Navy, which would be by
The Village people.
the village people. Really.
Oh, all right, guys. Well, it was a pleasure
Hey,
to come in. You
thank
guys,
you,
I
sir.
appreciate it. You guys have a great day. See you at the Veterans Parade.
All right. Love
Bye-bye.
you, bud. That's Junior Samples. That's our buddy. And Robert Christ is his studio name, but he's a great guy and a great friend. White Trash Services, White Trash Site Services, White Trash for all your trash-tastic needs. If you live in the counties, if you live in our voice area, we are the word of mouth that allows white trash to grow so exponentially and encourage you. Give them a call, 550-1826. No annoying recordings. You'll speak to a person. They can give you can give them your location. They'll give you a quote to begin providing trash service for you as early as probably tomorrow. Very responsive, super nice people.
Great folks.
550-1826. Chesnick Furniture Company, Chesnick and Love, make your house a home. Thank you, HR. Chesnick Furniture, make your house a home. You can get in and see why you just always do better at Chesnick. You know, my wife last night said, you need to visit with these folks, with your sponsors, and get them to give you guys some info to share. She goes, you make the same spot every day. And I said, but I want you to stop and think. I don't disagree. I want us to have exciting information to pass along, but what else can I tell you except that Bobby Leon and his family have been serving you and yours for over 100 years, for over 85 years in their current location. They sell furniture, they sell dining room suits, they sell bedding, they sell all types of
Accoutrement.
whatever you need for your home. Get into Chesnick Furniture and enjoy it. And then Atzenhofer and Atzenhofer.com. Today it's a little chilly. You might want to look for a new Chevy online.
One that a heater works.
There you go. Make sure the heater works. Today's a good day to try that out.
Absolutely.
Most days you could drive it 11 months around here and then go, whoa, wait, the heater doesn't work. Because we don't need it very often.
Parvita Wellness.
Get in and get healthy. Let Parvita help you reach your dietary goals. And then the Dollar Floor Store. By the way, Vita Cafe, open, thriving. Go by the Vita Cafe soon. And then Dollar Floor Store, whether you need tile, backsplashes, flooring, but you know, laminate flooring, hardwoods, they can help you. They are there to help you. The Dollar Floor Store on North Navarro. Get by and see them. So we have a guest, and he's being accosted by Junior in the and look at the gentleman. Like, he's just like stunned. He's stunned. He's deer in the headlights. He's just stunned listening to Junior just verbally just assault him. Sir, we can rescue you if you'd like to come this way. And he stands. So
There aren't many left, but I do want to say this. Jose Mendez was a World War II vet, is a World War II veteran, and he was celebrated in Corpus Christi the other day. He's 100 years old. And they gathered to honor him. Fought in the Battle of the Bulge and throughout the Central European campaign. So, I mean, there aren't many left.
Fantastic. How about this? You know, you people don't think you get just like an unexpected treat. Like, there's your camera, sir. Boom. Joined by Congressman Michael Cloud, live in studio. Hello, sir. How are you?
Hello. Good.
We were talking just the other day about our veterans, and you told a story about a gentleman in Corpus that you were able to help be a part of honoring. Share that if you don't mind.
Yeah, yesterday was a wonderful day. It's one of the fun things you get to do in this job, and that was to, on behalf of our people, we renamed a post office in Corpus Christi after Captain Bob Batterson. And so Captain Bob Batterson was a World War II veteran, survived Pearl Harbor. He served on the Lexington, served in the Navy, flew Hellcats, and then once he retired, continued to service. You could find him at over 100 years old, was still giving tours on the Lexington, talking to kids about his time and his experience and his
On
stories.
his boat, right?
On his
Was he
boat.
on it when it sunk?
What's that?
Was he on it when it sunk? Or when it never sunk? It was
No.
No,
hit.
no.
They thought the Japanese
Yeah,
thought they
I-
sunk it.
I
right?
don't-
Midway,
yeah, I
I
don't
think.
know.
The Battle of
Yeah,
Midway has sustained a lot of damage.
Amazing story, and some people know Steve Banta, who was in the Navy, now oversees the Lexington and everything going on, and he told the story at the ceremony about how when Steve was named the head of the Lexington down there, that Bob said, "Hey, we need to go do coffee," and they went out for coffee, and he's like, "Hey, just wanted to get to know you and see what your plans were for my ship." You know,
The tongue-in-cheek softball of the day would be, well, it's very convenient that the Republicans shut down the government to give you an opportunity to come home and do that.
oh well.
You guys, is that not the dumbest thing ever? You got 53 votes. There's 53 Republicans. We're all in. Yay. We can't get the other 7 yays. And then, but it's the Republicans that are shutting down the government.
Yeah, at the end of 40 days, we ended up exactly where we started, except it looks like we're going to get 3 of our appropriations bills passed. So that's the good news out of it, I guess, is that we're headed down the road of getting our appropriation bills passed. We also avoid the Christmas omnibus that the swamp likes to push everybody to, and we had real concerns with where the time was running out. And indeed, the deal on the package that just passed last night in the Senate that we'll be voting on, looks like tomorrow, started out with, "Hey, let's put the deadline at mid-Christmas." It's like, this is a very familiar play, or mid-December. Like, we know where this is headed.
So how far out does this go? When's the next shutdown?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It gets us to the end of January,
Okay.
with 3 of the bills passed. So three of those bills will be full year, and then the rest of it gets CR till January 30th. Which gives us negotiating time. So these bills have already passed out of the Appropriations Committee that I sit on. Some of them already been on the floor of the House, and so it's just a matter of negotiating between the House and the Senate at this point.
What are those 3 bills?
It's Milcon VA, Ledge Branch, and which, yeah, I know. And oh my gosh, Milcon VA, Ledge Branch, and I knew you'd ask in the room of my head when I was driving over
We
here.
have to
It's-
pass
yeah,
it so we can read.
I'm blinking on it. I'll get back to you.
What do they fund? That's, I think, more important to the people. Other than
It's ag. Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
So Milcon VA, military construction projects is what Milcon stands for. The VA, Ledge Branch funds the legislative branch.
Sure.
The reason that's in there is really because it's not controversial. So it's okay. We can kind of get this off the table
Yeah.
and keep negotiating on this stuff that is. And ag, of course, for our farmers and everything going on, as well as SNAP. So
okay.
It seems to me, and we've talked about it since its inception, the Unaffordable Care Act is being propped up. I found it interesting that the Dems, to me, I made the comment the other day that it's like the Democrats saying, we're voting against the Second Amendment because you don't believe in a woman's right to choose. I mean, these are 2 totally unrelated situations. The continuation of the government, the paying of government workers versus the extension of tax credits associated with the ACA are totally unrelated. And the Democrats don't seem to understand that, according to Barack Obama, elections have consequences. You lose, and yet you're going, if you don't give us $1.5 trillion, if you don't basically undo the BBB,
right.
then we're not going to give you the continuing. People are starting to figure out 40 days, hey, Mike, it didn't affect me at all. I don't care if the government shuts down.
A lot of people were there. I will say it certainly was affecting some people for
Yeah.
sure.
Anybody who traveled.
Yeah, anyone who travels. And there were, we talked to air traffic controllers in our district who were hawking their TV so they could have gas money to get to work at their, mandatory job, essential job. But yeah, by and large, most people get up, they go to work, and I certainly get it. This is why we're trying to shrink government and expand freedom in our country. But to your point, a CR is it's a continuing resolution pointing to a previous passed appropriations bill. Now, because of how dysfunctional DC has been, we're supposed to pass these appropriations bills every year, but it's been CR'd for the last few years, to where this points back to a Biden, Schumer, Pelosi appropriations bill. So what we were continuing was actually funding that I don't really like. I don't like the appropriation bills as points to.
Right.
So this was actually their bill that they were objecting to, which was the absurdity of it all. They had already voted for this exact piece of legislation a dozen times or more, and it's just with President Trump in office, didn't seem to be able to support it this time.
So we know that the president's polarizing, and for us, it's a heyday. We appreciate his polarization, but have we gotten to a point in D.C. where if it's proposed by the Republicans, the Democrats have to oppose it? They have to twist it in such a way that it's not the right thing to do. It seems like there's no. John Fetterman is arguably on a medical. I'm wearing the sweatshirt to honor him. That aside from Fetterman, there's nobody on the left who publicly says, let's work together to solve this problem. They say the Republicans don't want to solve the problem. That's all they say.
Well, they don't really have a message. They don't really have a plan. We just came off 4 years of,
Auto pen.
Of auto pen. And the biggest argument is whatever complaint they have, well, why didn't you fix that when you were in charge? Why didn't you work on it? Why didn't you try to fix it? And so, we're giving our best effort to make the changes that need to make to get rid of the waste, fraud, and abuse, to get the government right-sized and working for the people again.
Just a couple of quick hits. Crystal Map says, hi, Michael. Thank you for your work in helping my war veteran hero brother. Andrew Alvarez says, any thoughts on including clauses, I don't know where, but including clauses that would ensure critical government employees like the military are still paid during a shutdown?
Yeah, I'm co-sponsor on the legislation for that, actually. We've tried to get that done. I will say the catch-22 and caveat with this, which some people would celebrate, like yourselves maybe, is that the one concern with putting these things kind of on autopilot and shutdown is we would get to the shutdown at which we would never return.
We'll just have to shut down forever.
Yeah, less of the government would shut down.
If there's
Less of
if
the
there's
government
no
shut down, but then we
you
might
get to the
rid of
point
those
if there's no
parts.
pain point to get us back into working again. I have some concerns.
What
that
about
Congress-
the calls from some of the public that say, you know what, as long as the government shut down, Congress doesn't get paid, no retro pay?
Yeah, I would be fine with that. I mean, and
I would take it a step further. I would say the party that's holding things up, they're the ones that don't get paid. Why punish those who are actually trying to work?
Yeah.
and
Well,
get things
I mean,
done?
just so you and people know, our team has not gotten paid.
But your offices have been open.
And our people are like, we're here to serve the American people.
Amen.
We've kept our doors open. Constitutionally, Congress continues to get paid unless we request not to. And so, of course, I've asked not to receive my paycheck as my team's not receiving theirs, and as we expected the military not to be. So
The only difference I saw is when
yeah.
I went by, the donuts were a little stale. But other than that, it was
office,
business as usual.
Why? Shipley's is still open.
Right?
So I'm thankful for our team. They do have a heart to serve, and so like Crystal mentioned, that's our team doing good work to help our veterans.
Linda Chris says, maybe it's just me, but I would think that air traffic controllers are essential. I think that's part of the deal. You want it's the pain, right? We need these people. We have to resolve this.
Right. Yeah, that's the flip of that coin. I mean, to me, yes, it's we want them to be paid during a shutdown. You do get concerned. You put too much on that list, you get to the point where why does Congress even show up?
Well,
and what
yeah.
brings them back
I mean,
eventually?
You
So
think it's a coincidence that Michael may be going back to D.C. tomorrow and the shutdown's about to end? I mean, we're having those air traffic controllers back at the helm tomorrow, right?
No, not till they vote.
I hope there's at least 218 flights that make it through.
Can you do better than John Cornyn? If it's important, can you be there?
Well, I can tell you, normally I take the hopper out of here and to Houston, and then we'll take the flight into Houston. But tomorrow, I'm 4 a.m. I'm going to drive there, just make sure take the first flight out of Houston I can, because it's the most likely one to make it there,
Right.
and do everything we can to make sure that everything we can on our end to make sure we.
You need Ash to give you a ride?
Sure, yeah, thank you. I appreciate you offering.
no
That was
Anytime. I'm actually free tomorrow morning.
You could do like a remote. He could like hold his iPhone up while he's driving. There's the congressman in the back. That's him sleeping. Look. Well, what else is happening, sir? I know it's been a busy time. People think that the government shuts down. That's when you guys are really busy. So
well,
what's
yeah,
been happening?
continuing to travel the district. We did get a chance to tweak some of our systems and those things that we normally don't have time to do, like any organization or any business. So that part it really was some of our most productive weeks, in a sense of like we didn't have to go to committee hearings, do all this other stuff. And then continue to work on what we could to meet the needs that are around us today. Of course, is Veterans Day, so want to make sure that our veterans are honored.
You had several events today. didn't you?
Parade's at 10 o'clock today. I
Yeah,
believe, right?
parade at 10 o'clock, and then we have Vet Fest going on after that. Tonight I'll be at the Republican Women's meeting to hang out.
Yeah, and there will be a Veterans Day ceremony at 6 o'clock at the
Yes, as
Field
well,
of Honor
right.
next to Parkway Church. Don't forget Patriot Palooza goes on Friday at the A&M Victoria campus from 5 to 7. So that's going on as well. Just a great week to celebrate our veterans. And for me, it has a double meaning because of my experiences growing up in Canada and the recognition of Remembrance Day and what it means to me.
Yeah.
Are you and I know as busy as you guys have been, you don't get bogged down honestly in politics, but what are you seeing with the Chuck Schumer potential of an AOC coup to take over that Senate seat? Where does all this shut down? It seems to me that it wasn't lost on me that Timmy Kaine and Durbin, who's retiring, that they served up some sacrificial or unkillable lambs to go ahead and pass everything in the Senate. These guys are bulletproof. They'd be like Ted Cruz saying, okay, I'll do it, because he's not going to get voted out over one vote. It seems to me that the Democrats have run their course with Chuck Schumer, and that he may be like the scapegoat on some of this stuff. Do you get any, I know you don't get bogged down in that stuff. You're too busy doing what you do. But do you get any feel of any of that, like how you see the landscape changing over the next cycle?
It's hard to say, and obviously I don't get a vote in the Senate, or certainly for the Democratic leader of the Senate.
Right.
But it's one of those things where a lot of time you have to remember who elects him, and it's the senators, the Democrat senators. And so while the base might be upset at him, the senators there realize he's in a sense taking a political bullet for them, and
Okay.
so he looks like the scapegoat, and so sometimes he realizes my job is
To take the heat.
yeah, and so as long as he's viable in his district back home still, or his state in the
He's
Senate,
been there forever.
yeah, it's but he does have a challenge, from his left flank, and so we'll see how that plays out. Statewide, I don't know New York politics.
I'll tell
that
you.
well, but
I'll probably be, well,
I don't think New York knows New
But-
York politics.
Yeah.
I'll
that
probably
well.
be gone by then. But if in the event that someday you see Michael Cloud rumbling, stumbling, bumbling around the Capitol like Mitch McConnell, will you go tell him? It's time
time.
to come home?
please, I have I do not want to
Remind folks
spend my
of
last days in
the
Congress.
appropriations and the different committees and things you're on, and then remind them how they can check in at cloud.house.gov and get in touch.
Well done. That was
Thank you.
That was very good.
I do it.
We're on the Appropriations Committee and the Oversight Committee. And the Oversight Committee one of the subcommittees we're on is the Doge Committee. And then on Appropriations Bill, Vice Chair on the Energy and Water Subcommittee, on the Interior Subcommittee. And so we're, continue to be working on these issues. These, over the next, from here till January 30th, we'll be negotiating on those bills and working to make sure we're getting them where we need to. And then also, we got a lot of stuff done in those pieces of legislation as it went through committee to make sure that those things stand through the process and make it to the floor. So still, right now, we knew once the shutdown was over, it's going to be full steam ahead. And so we're looking forward to the next few weeks as we get this stuff done.
Well, I think it's a tribute to you and the district and to the, I mean, it's romantic, but to the Texas spirit, if you will, that your team continued to work, that your team did so without pay, and that your offices have been open if somebody needed to reach out to you, that you're still taking calls. And,
Yeah.
I'm sure
Some of the agencies we were trying to work with and get case done work, we
Can't get
Yeah,
those
struggle.
done.
weren't getting a call
Yeah.
back, but
CNN reporting that expect
but yeah,
flight delays
part of our
today.
team.
So
Yes.
there you go.
Yeah, no doubt.
maybe, if you get there early, you're bound to get on one of them.
I'm hoping. Yeah, I'm.
You could always be like Elizabeth Warren, just take a private jet while you talk about the shutdown. Did you see that? She was somewhere to speak, and it was just she had to be there. She just took a private jet. Just to,
Oh wow. Wow.
She's worried about her carbon footprint, obviously.
there's a lot
Right,
of
right.
it's for thee, not for me in the Senate.
For sure.
There seems to be a lot of that in the Senate, not so much in the House. A lot more working people in the House. We appreciate
Well, that's true.
that.
I do like the vibe in the house a lot better.
How are our friends? How's Chip Roy?
From my doing great as far as I mean, we've been talking lately, but it's mostly on what we're trying to get done, what was happening in the package and the negotiations here, and next step forward in the process as we head to January 30th.
So I haven't been upset with AOC in a while. She's been too busy promoting her makeup campaign and stuff. But if you get a chance, trip Eric Swalwell for me, will you? Just if he's walking, oh man, Eric, I'm sorry.
Knock his books out of his hand.
Yeah,
Come on.
Yeah, take his lunch money.
Our office moved the last term, but it used to be across the
I
hallway.
know
from
it was
us.
across the
Yeah,
hall.
I
I
know,
kept
I
thinking,
know
I'm
you
going
know,
to see
but
that guy. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, we won the election. You guys moved up to the penthouse. I know how that works.
Oh well, no. It's away from the construction
Away-
zone was
right?
really more like it.
You used to open a window. You'd open the curtains and like there was a scaffold there. It was
Right.
nice.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And those pesky workers, they start at like 4:30
4 in the morning. Yeah,
Yeah.
jackhammer. That's
Yeah.
it.
Well, nobody lives right
Speaking
there
of
anyway.
jackhammer, give us an update on the East Wing. I mean, the architectural
So I
significance.
was wondering, where
alone.
where's it going with this transition?
Right? Tell us about the excavator and what's going on at the East
Well,
Wing.
yes, I haven't been over to the White House since that started. Well, I guess I was for the Charlie Kirk. Yeah. The good news is the White House tours are open. They had closed them for a while because the East Wing is where you would go through the Secret Service
Okay.
to take the tour. So now that's routed up to the other side. And so, if you are going to DC, contact our office. We can help, make all that happen. Capitol tours have been closed because the government's been shut down. So that will be open as well, headed forward. So if you have, Christmas trip plans, let us know. We can
Have you
get you
physically
ahead of-
seen
but,
the wall of presidential portraits with the auto pen on it? Have
yeah,
you seen it in
you-
person?
yeah, I posted a picture of it. the
I
other
think
day.
that is so hilarious.
I will,
I wish Trump would have them changed out to where every picture was just a picture of Trump.
I'd
He's
have to
got
find
them
it,
so
but, yeah.
triggered, sir. If he says anything, it just triggers him.
I think he should put his portrait there for the neck for the next.
I was
president
over
as
there
well.
for an event, and the line was for there was a line at the auto pen photo.
So fun. If you want to take a picture,
Yeah,
he just gets it, and I know the president's, like I said, he's polarizing. I know that I wouldn't be surprised if there are times you're like, oh, I wish he wouldn't have said that. But it always seems to work out. And, time and time again, he's shown that he's right. Are you concerned at all about these Venezuelan drug boats? Or are you confident that the intel is right and those are drug boats and he's just blowing up drug boats?
I'm by and large, yeah. I haven't looked at every single incident and the intel with it, but the view, and we said this when the border was wide open, that 100,000 people dead from fentanyl in our country. If that was an attack from any other, if a bomb blew up, we would be at war, but yet
Right.
we're letting this. And so to view that as a weapon of mass destruction against the American people, I think is where the administration's at, and not letting them in is.
He was very enlightening the other day. They were asked him, and so much of what he says is off the cuff, and yet at the same time, it always seems to resonate back with. It ends up being legal, and it ends up being correct.
Right.
And they made the comment about, sir, if these drug boats are coming, and Congress presumably would be against that, why don't we just declare war with Congress and quiet everybody? He goes, no, I don't think it's an act of war. We're just going to keep blowing up drug dealers. and I liked that. He said killing. We're going to keep killing drug dealers. It's not an act of war. And it's like, it's very matter of fact. I've got the weapons. If you bring your drugs to my shore, I'm just going to blow you up. It's very efficient. I do not dislike what the man does.
Well, the left now obviously defends drug dealers, but they've been against they've been for lawlessness for
Right.
a long time. So
Well,
why
and,
not?
And that's the
Chaos.
absurdity of it. I heard someone saying, I thought it was a poignant thing, is, in the past and certainly in the last administration, we would see effort from powerful people to silence their opposition. What the president does instead is he pushes them into the light to expose
That's right,
the
yeah.
craziness. And so we end up seeing Dems coming out and defending criminals in their own communities. We see them defending drug dealers. We see them defending all this stuff that the American people are like, huh? And it exposes just the crazy stuff that they've been pushing in the past. And that's why we see the American people supporting these policies.
Absolutely.
There you go. Stay with us 1 second. Ash has a long-standing tradition. He's going to read you.
Well, I'm in Flanders Fields.
then
If
we
you,
will
if
be
you see a
gone.
veteran today, thank them for their service and for defending our freedoms. For those that paid the ultimate sacrifice, Lieutenant Colonel John McCrae, who was a medic in the Canadian Army back in World War I, wrote this poem when he was in Flanders Fields in Belgium. And it's one that I grew up with and was recited every Remembrance Day assembly that we had in school. In Flanders Fields, the poppies blow between the crosses row on row that mark our place, and in the sky, the lark still bravely singing fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead, short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders Fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe, to you from failing hands we throw the torch, be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders Fields.